You know who my next guest is? The James Krause, who's a UFC welterweight fighter, but he's also one of the best coaches in the game right now. And one of his students, pupils, teammates, whatever you want to call it, is going to be fighting for the UFC featherweight title next week at UFC 259. Of course, I'm talking about Megan Anderson, who's going to be taking on Amanda Nunes. James, how's it going, man?
Good. Just spend a couple days home before I head back out. So it's a crazy schedule right now for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, have you been back to the gym since the weekend, or because I obviously you had Minner's fight on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'm back in the gym. I'm back in the gym Monday, Tuesday, and working with all the guys. And we have a ton of guys with fights coming up. So it's like I can't just not go. So I literally just got walked in the door 3 minutes ago.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Like I said, busy guy. How is the vibe right now in the gym? Because, Minner just won his fight on the weekend. We had Julian Marquez with that great comeback victory over Patolo. How's everything going right now?
I mean, obviously it's amazing, but I tell my guys, it's like this game is so full of highs and lows. You can't, there is such a thing as momentum, obviously, but you can't get like obsessed with that. You can't be results driven, because that results don't always tell the whole story. You have to be process driven. And, I think the guys that do that, and I always tell them, win, lose, or draw, you get the weekend to laugh or cry about it, but on Monday we get back to work.
I mentioned the title fight there with Megan. I mean, this could be a big thing for your gym, first champion out of Glory MMA. I wanted to start first with Megan, mentally, because obviously this fight was supposed to take place in December. It was moved. Now we're talking about the fight taking place in March. How is she doing mentally, just having to reset after that fight was canceled the first time?
I don't think it makes a difference.
No? Okay.
I mean, She at first she expressed a little bit of frustration about it, but I mean, I don't think it as of right now, it doesn't make any difference to us at all. She's just had a long camp. We're ready to wrap things up and get to work. So I'm not too concerned with it.
Okay. And yeah, I didn't mean it as a negative thing. I was just curious sort of her mentality in general.
She's ready to rock, man. I mean, we're as ready as we're going to be. Like, she's just been in camp after camp after camp after camp. So it's just, she's ready to go. I mean, she's as ready as she's going to be right now. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell you, like, everybody always kind of says that, but at the end of this fight, win, lose, or draw, there's going to be no, well, we had this. It's been a great camp. We're as ready as we're going to be.
How do you go about not overtraining when you have a camp reset like that? Is that something you have to tell her, or does she know how to, does she know her limits, so to speak, and not overtraining?
Her issue is always eating. Sometimes she doesn't eat as much as she, with the amount that she trains. Sometimes she doesn't eat as much as she needs to. So I remember not this camp, the last camp, I literally had to tell her to go. I said, like, go eat whatever, take this day, go eat whatever you want. And she had 5 guys, I think, twice in one day. So,
wow. Okay.
Stuff like that, when you do the work early and you do the work early and you spend time and you're dedicated and you're disciplined, you can do those things.
And in terms of just having the extra time to train for Amanda, is there anything in particular you feel like she's evolved in? Like, has it actually benefited her in a way just to have more time to work on things?
Absolutely. Yeah, anytime you have more time to work on stuff, I mean, you're always going to fine-tune details and make things tighter, better. Yeah, absolutely. So I think for us, it's just about doing exactly that, fine-tuning all the little things, having answers for all the questions, and just being mentally, physically, technically, emotionally, all that stuff, being ready for it. And we're all just ready. You know what I mean? Like, we're all ready for it. We're as ready as we're going to be. I keep saying that. I know it's like we've dedicated years to this. It's not.
Yeah, you always knew this was the end. As soon as Amanda won that title from Cyborg, you knew that was always going to be a fight, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but if people remember, Megan got signed to fight Cyborg, so we've been, to me they're the same person. I know Amanda beat Cyborg, but they're very similar in how they fight.
I agree.
We've been training to fight this style, this person for years, literally. So and this has always been the goal. You know what I mean? Like, you're not training to fight, you're training to be the champion, right? At any level. So this has always been the goal for us.
And did you bring anyone in for Megan to work with, or was it just the same training partners? Keep things the same if it's working for her, obviously, because she's winning. Yeah.
We have plenty of training partners. I mean, we have, I don't think, any less than like 30 guys and girls on the mat at any time. So 30 to, I think I had 55 in my kickboxing class last night. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, we have plenty of people for her.
Last thing on Megan and the Amanda Nunes fight. I know you're expecting the best Amanda Nunes out there, and obviously everyone should. I mean, that would be bad of you to overlook that. But do you feel like it's kind of the perfect storm for a couple reasons? Number one, we talked about this before, the style matchup, right? Like Megan's a striker. Nunes has fought, strikers before, but I think in some regards, this is a more interesting matchup, in my opinion anyways, than when she fought Felicia Spencer, because Spencer doesn't have that type of knockout power. Megan does. Megan's a true featherweight, right? So it's not like a 135er coming up. Also, you're a parent, when you have kids, it definitely changes things a bit, especially when you're preparing. Megan doesn't have to worry about that. Do you feel like in some ways it's kind of the perfect storm of everything coming together with all the external things? I know that's not the focus, but I'm sure you've at least, thought about it.
Well, we had this interview before the first time they were matched up, and I said if there's any time to catch her, now's the time. I said this before, and I also called. I said, I wouldn't be surprised if something happened with the fight. And they said it was medical issues, and it could be, I don't know. But I'm guessing some of it had to do with that newborn baby. You know what I mean? Like, and congrats to them. This is no shade.
Oh, no, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
But I have a 1.5-year-old son. It's stressful. It's taxing, not just on you, but your partner as well, and in turn, if your partner wears it, you usually wear it. So we can't just sit around and act like this is not a thing, because it's definitely a thing. Now, will it be a deciding thing? That's not for me to decide or to speculate or whatever. I'm just saying, if any time is to catch her slipping, it's right now. You know what I mean? And we're not counting on that, obviously. Like, Megan's the best she's ever looked. We're not counting on that. I'm just saying, like, hey, these are factors that you got to at least look at.
Kind of another thing I just found out today, actually. I was talking to Jason Witt. We just did an interview today. He's talking about going to 55 in the future. Maybe what do you think of that? Because I know that's obviously an optimal weight class for him, but obviously he needs some time to get down and get the weight. He was just mentioning that to me. I find that kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's something I've mentioned to him the last few times. I think we need to give it the PI and do the exoscan and really look at his body mass and things of such and see if it's not possible, but sustainable, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's really about, is longevity and sustainability for these guys. So we're gonna look at that after this fight. Right now we have a tough opponent ahead of us, so we're gonna deal with that.
Tim Elliott's fighting soon against Jordan Espinosa, who's someone I know also has ties to the gym, because I know he was talking about maybe training over there and that didn't happen. Tell me your sort of view on this, because I got Jordan's side of it, I got Tim's side of it. What actually happened there? Because I know he's buddies with Kevin Kroom, right? That's the whole thing. And so he was going to train with you guys and then he decided not to. So that's how they're fighting, right?
Yeah. So the way it happened is this was when Tim was still in Vegas, living there. Jordan came to our gym and trained and talked about coming out and doing his training camps with us, and the fight was offered literally when Jordan was in my gym next to me. The fight to fight Tim actually texted me and said, "Hey, I got offered to fight Jordan Espinosa." I said, "Man, like, I don't think that's I don't really want, I'm not going to corner either one of you guys. So like, I'm not going to be a part of this." So that kind of fell through. And Jordan got another fight. Jordan, he spent like 3 weeks with us, went and fought De La Rosa, looked amazing. And I'm not going to take credit for that win, but I feel like we did a lot of good training for him and put together a lot of good stuff. And once again, I'm not taking credit for that win in any way, shape, or form. He's got an incredible team where he's at, but he looked really good in that fight. And then Tim moves back, and we get offered the fight. Espinosa gets another fight, and he basically says, "Hey, I can't come back because of COVID or whatever," which at the time the restrictions weren't really, he could have came back. I feel like, I don't know the details of it or whatever. And that fight kind of got thrown around again. And, Tim was back with me at the time. And I said, "Man, like, we got to figure this out, dude. Like, if you want to be on our team, like, it's cool." And then finally it got offered a third time. And I said, "Dude, like, if you're not going to come train with us, cool. We're going to take this fight." You know what I mean? And Tim's with me now. And I like the fight for Tim, to be honest with you. That was one of the reasons I said no to it for Jordan, because I thought Jordan was going to train with me. And I didn't want to coach against one of my best friends in Tim, but I thought it was a tough matchup for Jordan. And I still think that. And I like Jordan a lot. He's a good dude. He's got ties to the gym through Kevin, and I respect Kevin a ton. But, man, like, if you're not on our team, I don't, like. No, understand. I'm friends with everybody, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of, I can't say no to anybody that I know. You know what I mean? Like, so it just doesn't work like that. So, and it's not even me fighting. It's one of my guys. So I feel like he had a chance to be on the team. He chose not to do it. No hard feelings. I love Jordan, but it's still business.
And on that note, kind of last thing on Tim, I spoke to him last week and he just talked about how, him leaving the gym initially, going to Vegas. I know there was some, he sort of talked about how you guys sort of had different philosophies and then you guys kind of came back together and now he's back and Gina's moved here as well. Like, how cool is that for you to see him, come back and just the appreciation? Like, you can really tell he has so much appreciation for you as a coach and just how you've sort of, he's even said it, turned his career around. How does it feel when you hear things like that you guys have really stuck it through all this long?
Yeah, man, it's really amazing. I mean, we've always been friends, right? Like, him and I came up together through RFA. Like, we've been really good friends. Like, and it was at a time where we didn't really have training partners. It was just him and I, and we were kind of doing it before everybody else was, right? Like really doing it and full time, and nobody really understood it. So it was just him and I came together. So I have a soft spot for him. We've always been friends, and that's never wavered. I was his coach at one point before, and he left, and it really hurt my feelings. And I kind of got to a point where I realized that I was kind of taking advantage of that, and I really wasn't a good coach. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that I wasn't a good coach. I wasn't really a coach. I was still kind of a fighter coach, and I know I still am, but right now I put my career on hold for these guys. I always do. And at the time, I really wasn't doing that, and I wasn't doing as good of a job as I could. So it really made me take a step back and think what I could do differently. And that was part of the reason why I started changing my coaching philosophies and changing how I run things. And so I give him a lot of credit in my coaching today, because it really hurt my feelings and it made me take a step back and look like, what could I be doing better instead of blaming him? I look at myself within, like, what could I be doing better? What could I have done better to avoid this? And I started doing those things, and, he wasn't doing really good where he was at. And that's neither here nor there. But he always would ask my opinion and still respect. It's crazy. He literally just texts me as we're
he knows we're doing an interview, I guess.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, there you
go. And man, so he would always ask me my opinion and stuff like that, and I would be honest with him. Tough fight, good matchup, tough fight, whatever. And I finally told him, hey man, like, I think you should look at coming back home, because there was some stuff with his daughter. His daughter's mother is here. And I just don't think he was really complete when his daughter wasn't with him full time, So, and she was with him, but in the summertime she would go away. And I said, man, you need to come back here for your daughter's sake. And I think we got together, and he did this camp with me. Shit, we fought Benoit. We had like 2 weeks, and he was on like a 3-year losing streak. Came back and won with the 2 or 3 week camp with us. And I just feel like I know him good enough to put the pieces together for him.
Any timetable for your return in the cage, or like you mentioned, you got a busy schedule coming up. Is that on pause until you sort of see these fights through?
Dude, I'm not even home. Like, I'll be home 8 days in the next 6 weeks. There's no way that I can even spell fight right now, let alone be in one. It's just summer, I'm hoping, you know what I mean? Like for example, I'm 2 weeks into my 6-week stint where I'm gone every weekend for UFC. And then, so we go March 6th, March 13th, March 20th, and then I think I have 1 week off, and then I go Zach Cummings at the beginning of April, and then I have Jeff Molina April 20th, and then I have TJ Brown May 1st, and I have Gina Mazzani May 15th, and then that's just what's booked right now, not to mention what recycles.
Yeah, coming up here soon.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And that's UFC only.
Right, yeah, and that's not even including the regional scene, right? Yeah, that's a very good point. How's the betting stuff with ESPN? I saw you doing that with Brett Okamoto.
Yeah, good. Really good, man. I mean, shit, I wish I could get one right every once in a while.
It's tough. It's tough. Trust me, I hear it all the time. I mean, it's tough to pick fights. I didn't think Curtis Blades was going to get knocked out by Lewis last weekend,
Same. I bet Blades and the over on that. Lost them both. I was one, it's like 58 seconds or some shit from the...
Yeah, the overhitting, yeah.
Yeah, but, man, and it's like, I play more than just the ones that I give. And I think I've had 2 losing weeks since I started, but it always seems to be the ones that I give. I always split, win one, lose one usually, and it's so tough because everybody's so competitive now. It's really tough. If you look at the underdogs every week, there's always a big underdog that wins every week, always. And
I think some stat I read, it's like almost 40% of the underdogs are winning lately. Like if you look at all the cards this year. So there you go. It's just the stuff. It was good value, by the way, and it was a fighter that you trained. The over in Charles Rosa and Derek Minner last week was 1.5. That was plus money. I cashed in on that because I was like, Rosa's tough to finish.
100% he is. And I knew I bet Minner in the over on that. So like,
good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's
awesome.
Derek is different since being with us, and he just hasn't got to show it. That was his first showing of it. You know, the TJ Laramie fight, he finished quick, so that's right in his MO, right? Like, you wouldn't think that anything's changed, but we've spent a lot of time and a lot of hard work fixing his game.
One last question. What would it mean to have your first UFC champion at Glory MMA? Because, you know, we got the fight coming up next week. I know it's all about you. You know, it's all about the gym. It's not about you or anything else, but that's got to feel kind of cool if that was to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that. I feel like we're already showing this, but it just kind of solidifies what we're doing is right, you know? And I feel like we're doing a good job of that anyway. But that's what we're all doing, right? You know, we're all after that. So like that's the pinnacle of what we're after, you know, especially as a coach, you know, like if you're as a fighter trying to win a world title, as a coach, you're trying to win a world title too. So, you know, that would solidify, you know, hey, we're right on the right track. We're doing something really special. And I already believe that. And I think that our fights, you know, last year, all the underdogs went in. This year, we're 2-0 in the UFC, and, you know, we have Kroom next week, but, yeah, it would solidify everything for me, and it's really important for me to be a good coach, and not just. I think one of the things that sets me apart is I'm not just a coach on the mat. I like to coach these guys in life, because if their life's not straight, they're on the mat is not going to be straight either. So, yeah, man, you know, it would be awesome. It'd be amazing to see everybody's hard work. You know, not just mine, not just hers, but the team's hard work all come to a head, and hey, like, this is the reward for it, you know, and then that would be pretty amazing.
This was an amazing interview, as it usually is, James. Thanks so much for the time, man. Really appreciate it. Anything you want to plug at the end? Any social media, sponsors, whatever? I'll give you the last word.
I just appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.